Hey everyone, Randy here. I write under the pen name Miranda K. Dark, and this is The Dark Project, which is all about rekindling my passion for writing and bringing you all along and sharing some tips and tricks and my process along the way. This is going to be pretty quick because I have to leave for work in about 20 minutes, so hopefully all of the outside noises cooperate and the cats are not any more demonic than cats can be. I have a few other videos that I'm probably going to be recording later today, so if you notice that, oh hey, she's wearing that same Gambit shirt, yeah, you're right, I probably am, and it's probably the same day, and even if it wasn't, I have a washing machine, so it's okay to wear the same shirt. Guys do it all the time. Why do women hold themselves to this standard of, I can't be seen in the same thing twice in public? It's ridiculous, and I'm over it. No. I love this shirt. It's old. It's got paint on it from when we were redoing the house that I should still be living in back in New York that is now home to a different family. And there's bleach on here from when I was cleaning in that same house. So I enjoy this shirt. I will wear it as much as I want, and that is all there is to it. So I have a little sticky note with some notes written on it. Words are wording today, as you can tell. So I have been working on my primary writing project, Blood from Stone. It's still kind of the working title because I can't decide if I want to call it Blood from Stone or Blood from a Stone. If you know the saying, you know the saying. And it actually has something to do with the soon-to-be discovered genetics of the female main character, which is kind of cool. But anyway, so at current, I have 92,369 words in this document. I just finished writing chapter 32 yesterday after not writing anything for probably the last 3 weeks of insanity that have been going on. I've probably got about 3 more chapters to go. I do actually have an outline. My outlining is fairly simple and not super in-depth, because if I make it too in-depth, then I feel like I'm too constrained and can't write anything. But about 3 more chapters to go on this book. Originally, what is now going to be book 2 was going to all be combined with book 1, and I realized, oh no. This first portion before the big inciting incident is going to be close to 100,000 words as it is. This is not epic fantasy. This is urban fantasy with a heavy romantic subplot. It is not marketable at the 250-ish thousand words that it would probably be if I left it like that. So I decided to instead split book 1 in half. So it will now be 1 and 2. And honestly, with the way that I have what was intended to be a trilogy planned out, it's probably going to be 6 or 7 books by the time it's done. Which is fine. It's totally okay. And the word count thing boils down to, for me, I know that everybody says, oh, you have to go through and you have to cut all of these things and you have to get rid of descriptions. And there are people who don't write character descriptions at all, which I think is really weird. I mean, I guess if it works for you, it works for you. But personally, I want to see what the people look like. I want to know what the setting looks like. I want to know what the setting smells like. I want to know what the sounds are that are going on. I want to have a picture painted in my brain. If I didn't want all those details given to me through my eyeballs in word form, I would go watch a movie. If I wanted something more punchy and to the point, I would go read a comic or a graphic novel. We stand purple prose in this house. It's okay if you don't. To each their own. I enjoy it. I like having long-winded monologues, and not necessarily villain monologues, but internal monologue of the characters, or one of the characters speaks for more than a sentence or 2 at a time. A paragraph isn't just a single sentence or maybe up to 3 sentences. I grew up in the era where for writing in school, a paragraph was expected to be 6 to 8 complete complex sentences, not, oh, it's more than 15 words, you better make it a separate sentence. No, I don't want to. That's what commas and semicolons and em dashes are for, and you can pry them from my cold dead hands. The end. Anyway, I like to think that my writing style is palatable, even to the average person, although sometimes I do worry that the vocabulary I use may be potentially limiting. But bear with me for a second, because the average reader is reading on a digital device. And if you're reading on a digital device, especially through the Kindle app, if you don't know a word, you know what you do? You tap the screen on the word, and it pops up the definition from the dictionary, so you can learn what the word means, and then use the word in regular conversation going forward. So I'm not going to dumb down words that naturally pop into my brain like Microsoft Word tells me all the time. More concise language or a simpler word may make this more readable. Fuck off. All the way off. No, I'm not going to do that. And if that's not for you, okay, cool. You don't have to read it. But if it's a little bit of a challenge, you might enjoy it. So anyway, I think that the whole chop everything down to its basest parts is damaging to writing as a whole. And it makes me sad, because it just reminds me of all the people that I used to play World of Warcraft with, and other people who play RPGs and skip quest text. Like, no, don't just look at your stupid cheater quest app that tells you where you have to go. Read the fucking quest text. It's there for a reason. Somebody wrote it to add depth to the story, to the plot, to the world as a whole. You plebs, it's not okay to skip that. Damn it. But maybe I'm just old school and I'm just a boomer now, even though I'm technically a millennial. I feel like a boomer. I like describing characters, setting, atmosphere, all the things, including things in the spicy spice scene. So if you want to know all of the details about the eggplants and parts in question, you will get that in my prose. I'm trying to create a visual in your head. And off to the side, my computer is updating things and I don't want it to time out. So yeah, the state of reading currently makes me sad. And it's not to say that it's bad to want a short, concise, to the point, brain candy story that doesn't have emotional depth, political intrigue, existential dread, all the scary, dark things that really exist in the world, because they really exist. I understand that reading is escapism for a lot of people, but for just as many people, reading is a way to process things. It's a way to cope with things. It's a way to work through trauma. I know that a lot of people who write, it is very much a method to work through trauma. There's a lot of that in a lot of the things that I write. And if you know me personally, then you know what parts I have passed on to my characters in the hope of being able to work through things. And that's totally okay. All that to say, I've only got 3 more chapters left of this thing. And I hadn't worked on it since, well, mostly since the beginning of December. And I just sat down the other day and looked at it and went, oh, I've only got 4 chapters left. Why the hell did I stop writing? Aside from, holiday insanity and family things and kid things and their school things and work things and trying to rearrange my entire apartment because I got a wild hair a couple weeks ago for whatever reason that I still don't quite understand, but it's still a work in progress, by the way. It's not done, but all the big things are moved. And from reading the outline, I realized why. The reason why is because I'm about to do the really, really bad thing to the main character, like 3 chapters from the end. And it's going to be mildly cliffhangery. And I know that everybody says, oh, don't do cliffhangers. Watch me. I enjoy them. Not everybody does. That's okay. It is okay to write the books you want to read. Especially if you can't find the books you want to read on the shelf because for whatever reason your favorite authors are no longer writing, and that's really depressing. Rob Thurman, I love you and I miss you. And I really, really wish that there was more to the Caliandro series than there is. But anyway, I'm about to do the big, bad, horrible thing. And I think I might have to eat half of the container of Valentine chocolates that I bought to be able to get through it, because it's going to be rough. It's not even super descriptive, but knowing the emotional fallout that's going to happen after the inciting incident, and there's only like a chapter or two after that with everybody starting to process, oh crap, what happened? It's going to be hard. I've been writing these characters since, oh God, way too long. I think I started the very first chapter of this particular series in 2016 or 2017. I know that I started writing it in earnest in 2018. But I think I wrote the very first chapter in like 2017. So it's been like 6-7+ years. It's been a bit. These people have been living in my head for a very long time. They are very much people to me. And I want to hurt them, but I don't want to hurt them. If I do hurt them, I have to make it all better. Which I do plan to do. It is all like, everything will turn out okay in the end. I promise. There will be a happily ever after for everybody involved. Well, except for the bad guys, but you know. Anyway. Now that I have kind of rambled about this story without really telling you much about it at all, I'm going to give you a very brief synopsis of this story. So, Blood from Stone has a main character whose name is Liliana. She is in her late 20s. She's about to hit her 30th birthday, because I cannot identify with characters who are in their early 20s anymore, because I will be 38 in a week. And I need characters that have a little more life experience and are a little more jaded and a little more cynical, and the world is not quite so rosy anymore, and we know that, and we're not naive to things, you know? So anyway, Liliana has been raised her entire life to believe that on top of being a Sangomar, someone who has special blood in this world that helps give power to vampires, she is not only going to be a blood donor and power bank for this fairly young clan of vampires called the Winterborns, but she is also intended to be their guardian and their protector and all of the things. Oh, I'm gonna guard you while you're sleeping during the day. I'm gonna protect you from assassins and anybody who wants to like take away the power of the clan and blah blah blah, whatever. Essentially, she's raised in a militia and a vampire worshipping cult that it turns out when she finally meets the Winterborns that they're not what she was expecting, and her role isn't what she was expecting. So now in her late 20s, she's kind of going, my whole life until this point has been a lie. Now what the hell am I supposed to do with myself? I'm just kind of here. And it turns out that they can't just bite her and get her blood, because she has an allergic reaction to vampire venom. Debilitating, anaphylactic shock, body-numbing paralysis reaction to their venom. So how are they going to work through that? And that's where the whole thing goes from there. It is I don't necessarily want to say reverse harem, because it isn't just with Liliana at the center. There are more relationships going on, so we're just going to say that it's polyamorous representation. There's a lot of ethnic diversity in it that, being a white straight girl, I am quite worried people are going to freak out about and say that it's just me doing a cash grab. But no, I am an American. I grew up in America. Not everybody here is white. It's actually pretty normal for people to
be a mixture of things, because that's just how this country is. And if people don't like it, fine, bye. I'm actually very proud of it. It's kind of got some alternate history threads running through it. And that's where the big bad is going to come in later, with an alternate history thread that I've always had a random idea about ever since I was very young, that I can't even mention because it will spoil things. So we're not going to do that. But now that I've gone on for, after editing, this will probably be about 15-ish minutes, we'll see. I'm going to leave it there for now. And if you are interested in reading what I do have written of it so far in the first draft form, you can go check things out over on my Ream page. The first 5 chapters are up to read for free if you follow the page. Following costs nothing. If you subscribe, then you will get to read every chapter up until publication. And you get to be involved and chat with me and give me some feedback about it, kind of like being a beta reader. So if you're interested in that, link is down in the description below the video. All the other links are there, and I will catch up with you guys with the other things I plan to talk about later today after work, because now I have to go in like 5 minutes. So talk to you later. Have an awesome day, and keep writing.